Hello and welcome to another episode of the A Capeggios Podcast. I'm your host Garret, and please welcome Jane, Maya, Claudia, and special guests Keegan and Hailey.
Yeah.
Hi, what's poppin',
Hello.
gringos?
You cannot say that. That's alright.
Oh.
Unedited. Raw. So,
Just like Garrett's cold dead heart.
Oh.
true. Okay. Enough, folks. Let's keep it
Alright.
PG, even though that wasn't inappropriate at all. What a start, though.
Let's keep it Disney. Ah ha ha.
That made
So,
me laugh.
Thank you. I know. I'm gonna be your comedian for the night.
so welcome to episode 5, everyone. And I just want to say, let's introduce our new special guest. We know Keegan. Let's introduce Hailey.
Yeah.
So
Hi.
why are
I'm
you here?
Hailey.
What are you doing here?
Well, I went to Disney, and therefore I am capable of answering these questions. And so Garrett was all like,
We're not
"Hey,
gonna.
do you want to be on the podcast?"
There's no it's mainly just say what you want about the trip, but it's in
Okay.
somewhat of an orderly fashion because we talk about events chronologically. So
Oh,
special guests Hailey and Keegan, welcome. And I also want to say, as of today, that this episode is being released, which is February 3rd, it was Maya and Jane's birthday 5 days ago. So happy birthday to both of you.
Yay, thank
You
you.
are
The
both-
was so much fun.
How old are you?
16.
Just
Just like Care Bear.
As of today, the birthday parties haven't happened yet. So either they were both great or they were both terrible.
No, they were great. It was so much fun. I
Yeah.
loved it.
fantastic.
What if someone died? What if
Still
fantastic.
What if Jane and Maya had an allergic reaction from
If
peanut
the
butter?
person, if the
And you're
people
listening to a dead person right now.
if the people who died are one
Well,
of
then
the
that just be
following,
sad.
me or Garrett, then it's still great. But if it's anyone else,
What?
not
Okay.
that's pretty bad.
Yep.
All right, never mind. Let's move on.
So, happy birthday. And also, I want to give a little announcement. Today is only episode 5, but episode 10, what we'll be doing is hopefully we can arrange a A Capeggios podcast live. We're going to stream on Twitch and or YouTube. Definitely YouTube, but maybe Twitch. I don't know when that date will be, but it'll be anywhere like in 5 weeks from now. So beginning of March that will be. So check your calendars.
Amazing.
It'll be on a weekend, I believe.
Alright.
And tune in for next week. We will be maybe playing Minecraft with a special guest who's been waiting very long to be a guest on the show. I'm not going to give any more spoilers, but tune in. So, this episode is part 2 of a 2-part series. We are talking about our high school concert band's trip to Disney, which happened as of now 2 months ago, actually.
Wow.
It's been that long, and it was super fun. It was the funnest trip I think I've ever been on. Funnest vacation. Would you agree with me, guys?
I would.
I
Yeah.
Not.
would say that, yeah.
Yeah. And we ended off last time talking about Magic Kingdom on Saturday, and we stopped just short of the marching down Main Street. So let's talk about that. Quite a surreal. This is the reason why we're there, to march down Main Street. The whole reason why we're there. So let's talk about that. It was quite a hot day.
I was
It was
sweating.
very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
no.
talking to someone after who worked there, and they said that we got like perfect weather, and it's like usually sweltering there,
Yeah.
and that there are people who do it like in the summer.
Right, and it wasn't.
I have never sweat so much in my life. Like it wasn't
Oh
even
yeah.
hot.
Yeah,
It wasn't even that hot.
It was
Like
just
we were
being
just
in the
wearing these thick
uniforms.
uniforms.
Why don't we
Right.
describe what the uniforms are like so our viewers know how
So-
hot we were?
The uniforms consist of these high pants with suspenders and a jacket that
Yeah.
goes onto it. It's
And they-
very thick. It's what would you
It's
would you say
very
is made?
It's heavy
high
and
quality.
Very heavy,
thick
yeah.
and
And
heavy
we have
material.
the hats.
sleeve.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
forget the hats. They're
We
the
wear
best
them.
part.
We wear them during marching band and football season. So we wear those same uniforms, like November, October when it's freezing here in Connecticut. So imagine
That's
having
what
to
they're
wear.
really made for, basically.
I will
Yeah,
say
not to
I don't
march
sweat
down.
very much. I
Yeah.
don't sweat very much, but my tank top that I was wearing that day was there were visible sweat spots on it.
Oh yeah.
On like my back, not even like under my arms or anything.
Right. It was overwhelmingly hot in those
And
uniforms.
it was
Like
I
It
didn't
was
think
maybe
it
already-
that's
was
too much information, but it was
too
gross.
bad.
it was already like the uniforms were over our clothes, so on top of that we had multiple layers.
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing
Mm.
pants.
Yeah,
so
because
I
we
was
were.
wearing pants, 2 pairs of pants, and 2 shirts.
Yeah, because
So-
we went straight from marching to Epcot, so we had to be ready to
Yep.
go to Epcot right after marching. And I think all of us at one point thought we were gonna pass out because of the heat.
Well, yeah, slightly. And they
Oh,
gave us free Disney water, which is a
Free
once in
Disney
a
water
lifetime opportunity for a
Best
non
water
employee.
ever.
It was
I don't
fine.
think any of us were really expecting just how hot it was going to be either, because we're so used to freezing our butts off during marching
Mhm.
season, because
And
it's like always during the winter
whenever-
in Connecticut.
The day before the day we marched wasn't that hot out. It was pretty cool
The
compared
jazz-
to the next day.
Yeah, the jazz band performance was perfect, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it was. I mean, marching down Main Street is a very surreal experience, right? Because there's the castle right behind it, and we played Santa's Parade over and over again. At least how many times? Like 5, 6
Yeah,
times.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a very trumpet friendly song. And there's
not
those,
a very
not a very brass friendly song.
I mean, to be honest, I was looking at my slide most of the time because I play the trombone. So I did see like the crowd and everything, but probably not as much as I would have if I wasn't paying so much attention to like what I was doing.
hmm
Well, I was so nervous because I was like, I was focusing. I was like, I cannot be out of step. I have to be perfectly in line.
Right.
And
Because
playing
hundreds
too.
of people, if not thousands, hundreds, a couple hundred people are watching the band and taking videos, and you suddenly become a part of their vacation.
Yeah.
That's what our band
Because like
director said.
when I was younger and watching parades, watching like high schools just like us march down Main Street, I didn't really see them as like a high school. I thought they were performers, part of Disney. Like I didn't really,
Yeah.
and even if they were just high schoolers, they looked like old to me, like
don't-
as a
yeah.
child.
And you don't have
Yeah.
you don't have any sympathy for them. Like you're just like,
No.
oh yeah, they do that all the time, I'm sure. But us,
Yeah.
a small town high school, we're not used to marching in 80-degree weather in heavy uniforms at Disney.
Or crowds like that either.
Also, like typically a lot of other high schools, their bands, not to say that our band isn't like good, but their bands have a lot more going on. Our high school's just way too small
Oh,
for
yeah.
that, but we don't have like
We're-
a color guard or anything.
We're not
like
a
that.
competition band.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
there was
yeah, no.
another high school band
Yeah.
that was in the parade from Pennsylvania, right? And
Yeah. Yes.
you could tell they were just much better. They were practicing, their percussion section was practicing, and they were like so good. Like they were all in sync. I mean, even details as small as the drums were in tune with each other. It was just really crazy.
Didn't
They were-
drive down from?
Oh yeah, they
Pennsylvania?
did.
Yeah.
It was at least a 24-hour drive.
I thought there was a band from Georgia too.
Yeah, there were 3.
Well,
I never
yeah.
saw the first one though.
oh yeah, then the first one, when did they set up somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, but on the when we were marching, like after we did the cadence or drawing, there is a big triplet that the quad tom player plays,
Mm-hmm.
and he never. And this is what happened. So he has to do a roll. So what happened is he did a triplet instead because
Oh, yeah.
he dropped his stick on the first ever roll in Santa's parade. He said it was the only time he's ever dropped his stick, but he was able to save it with the triplet. It was great. I felt that was pretty epic.
I just noticed how the band kids say triplet and everyone else says triplet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triplet.
It's actually
Triplet.
it's actually pronounced triplet. It's supposed to be 2 syllables, but in order to make it
Yeah.
more efficient with counting, you say triplet.
Triplet.
Mhm.
But so yeah, I mean, people aren't perfect, and it's all right if we make mistakes. But
Yeah.
No, I'm perfect.
I don't think
course.
anyone's vacation was ruined because the Plainville High School band was slightly
My-
messed
yeah.
up. I paid thousands of dollars
You're right.
for this website. For this
For this
vacation.
trip.
I got all my fast passes. I got all the foods I wanted. Got all the reservations I wanted. Stayed
Right.
at the perfect hotel. I wanted it to be perfect. But this band, this horrible,
Plainville High School band.
disastrous
That
band. I saw one of their band
Stupid
members
drummer started off
lightly
with a triplet.
I mean, I think we did good though.
Ugh.
Like
Okay,
overall,
vacation was
Yeah.
we did
ruined.
good.
fine.
Oh,
Like as an
me,
overall
oh
sounding
my.
band.
I
Mhm.
agree.
You know.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
think
maybe
so.
you think you didn't play very well. Like I didn't play very well at all. But as an overall band, we sounded good.
I think that I'm saying that I didn't play that well, but we all need to take into account that it's not the same as sitting and playing it, or even just standing
Right.
and playing it.
There's two
Like,
things you got to
whenever
think about.
We had just marched we didn't march that long when we played it. We only marched enough to play the song 2 or 3
Yeah,
times.
we
so
didn't even
we
rehearse that
weren't
much.
we weren't counted for the heat, the crowd, the length, all of that. So that all affects it in some way, shape, or form. So we might say that we didn't play well, but under the circumstances, I think we did pretty good.
So
Right.
And also, we were all really well in step, at least from what I saw in Mr. Johnson's video that he took.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing, and my clarinet slipped out of my mouth, and
Okay.
I was really hoping no one noticed. It wasn't it went up.
What does that mean?
I don't know
Slipped
how to
out of
explain
your
it.
mouth.
Wait, hold on. Explain it again, because I'm the fellow clarinet player here.
It jerked upwards.
Oh, that happens to me.
And
While you're marching? Or
while I was marching, and I was really
Well,
hoping
yeah.
no one noticed, and I was checking the pictures, and someone happened to take a picture at the exact moment that it happened.
Yeah,
It's
and you
like your
ruined their
mouth
vacation.
was, up into
Yeah.
your mouth.
You ruined
what
that
happened?
person's vacation by accidentally having the clarinet slip out of your mouth.
Actually, I just realized something. As we speak, I'm wearing a shirt that I got from Disney.
Oh,
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
very cool.
Fun fact.
For my birthday, I got a bath towel and a mug from Disney that my mom bought because she was down there too.
I remember when I was marching, I was holding to my drumsticks for dear life. I was so scared. Since I saw Zach drop his, I was like, oh, if I drop mine, I'm dead. I'm not recovering.
So what happens when you drop a drumstick? You just have one for the rest of the time, or did he have an extra?
Well, what's supposed to happen is the person behind you picks
Oh,
it
yeah.
up, and then
But
they
what if
pass
the
it
person
up to-
behind you is a bass drum? They can't pick it up.
Well, then the person behind them,
Okay,
one of the trombonists.
right. That's marching band etiquette.
Yeah.
But what if you don't see it and slip on it?
Well, that'd be pretty funny.
Honestly,
Who-
that was a very real possibility.
I know.
Because I'm pretty sure all the trombones and tenors were about to pass out and were looking at their slides and buttons.
Our marching band is not strict at all.
It's
Well,
really
yeah.
not.
I mean,
Some
yeah.
marching bands
As simple as possible.
If we were,
if someone I saw this video where someone passed out on the field during a marching band performance, but everyone kept going.
Well, yeah. I mean, stop.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Well, one person could help. They passed out, like they were
What? Okay.
actively passed out on the field, and everyone just stepped over
Was it
him
was
and
it a
around him.
was it a high school or was it like an actual like drum
No,
corps?
it was a college.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
just,
don't think we're gonna. I don't. No.
No.
Let's just leave him on the ground while he doesn't breathe.
You're okay, boy.
All right. I do want to move on. But who's the lady who administered us throughout backstage Disney?
Oh
The
geez,
wrong button.
I don't know.
clicked-
All I
clicked
remember
the
is
wrong-
the guy
Barbara?
in the golf cart for math.
Was it Barbara?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, she was fun. What was she the person who was like stay on the crosswalk, right?
It
Yeah.
might have been.
After the performance, we were all going back to where we set up, and we were crossing a street, and there's a crosswalk, and there was like one car on that road. It was like where employees go, and she was like very strict. She was like, "Stay on the crosswalk, stay in the crosswalk," and she was like shuffling and like across the street trying to get us to stay in the crosswalk. Like it's not like we're gonna die if we step off immediately.
Wasn't there
Like-
someone? There was someone who was trying to take a picture like somewhere specific in backstage Disney.
Yeah, that's what I was
No.
about to say.
I
yeah,
heard
and then
that.
one of the
Like
cast
people got
members.
like
Yeah, you
people
can't
got
take
like, stopped
pictures.
by security because I
Yeah.
think it's because if you take pictures and then people like
Yeah.
could find out where they keep all their like parade stuff and everything.
Well, yeah, it's just it's very secret.
Like
Ruins
where
the magic,
the
you know?
location that we were walking through, like all the parade
Yeah, all the
floats were
play floats, yeah.
there. There's like a
Well, you don't know what new
warehouse.
things they're developing back there, so
Yeah.
they don't want people to see behind the magic because they want to continue like
Keep
the
it in.
illusion of
No, but
Disney
like
magic.
if someone takes a picture of the location, then someone could find out where all their things are.
Yeah. Plus, like you can see like the back of Splash Mountain, which is very weird. Like I don't want to see that. I want
Yeah,
it to like,
Odd to see it.
I don't know. I think they want to maintain the illusion of realness. In a way, I don't know.
Well, you can like entering Animal Kingdom, you can see like Pandora,
Mm-hmm.
like the back of it, and you can like see the structures.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh.
I want to move on now because it's been almost 20 minutes. So the next thing we did after all of our sweat was dried up by our clothing, because there was so much
Gross.
sweat. There was like we were joking like there was like an ocean of sweat in our hats. It was just so bad.
I'm sure Mr. Strawinsky's loving hearing this right now.
he's cracking up right now.
And then we had to stuff it into little boxes.
I know.
and
Put them back in the
pack it
boxes
away
where
in
they're
the
gonna
hot
be for the
van.
next 4 days.
Take
Yeah, and we
off.
only we didn't. It was only very recently when we unpacked them for the first time. It was like a week ago or 2 weeks that we unpacked the boxes. We just left them in there for like half a month. All right, so
Actually,
the next.
when we first when we
What?
first got to Disney, my room's box, we thought it was lost for a while.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You guys
That was
probably talked about
scary.
that last episode.
No.
We would have to march in jazz band uniforms.
And borrow from other people.
Oh yeah,
to
Yeah.
make
But
sure
you
we
found
fit
it.
in.
you guys found
Buy
it, right?
black shoes.
Well, it wasn't really us who had misplaced it. It was like in the back of the truck, so T wasn't
Yeah.
sure that it was actually in there.
It was looked over, and so we thought it got lost.
And it wasn't like
Yeah.
we like
Oh.
it wasn't like a moment
My dinner's ready.
thing. It was like we thought it was a serious problem.
Yeah.
All right, if you have to
Okay,
go eat,
bye
then just go.
guys. I'll be back
Okay.
for Disney trivia.
Okay.
Have fun,
Bye.
gamer.
All right, so the next thing we did after marching was we went to Epcot for the rest of the day, and so we took like a tram, 10-minute tram, and the spaceship Earth. You could see it from a long ways away, but I think it was bigger than I thought. Like when you see pictures of it, you don't think it's as big, but it's very large when you look at it in real life. And there's an actual ride in there, if you guys didn't know. I think they change it every so often, but what was it called this year? Or is it just Spaceship Earth?
Isn't it called the... It's not the Carousel of Progress, is it?
No.
It's something about the future?
No, we went on it. I don't remember what it's called. We went on it, and it's it's like not a roller coaster, but you take a seat in a cart, and then you spiral up the ball and then down it, and then like it's a
roller coaster.
No, it's not as fast. No, and you just look. It's a scenery ride, and you look at stuff from the past. Like there's like animatronics of the ancient Greeks.
It's like inside the golf ball.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Now you know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So it's very cool. And when Maya was doing Disney trivia yesterday, one of the questions was who invented the alphabet, and that question is from that ride because it talked about the Phoenicians or something like that, and they invented our modern alphabet, something like that. If you haven't seen it, part 1, then go see it. So very cool. And so Epcot, the reason why we didn't have a full day for Epcot was because there were complaints 4 years ago when the band went 4 years ago that there's not enough stuff to do for a whole day at Epcot, which I disagree with, because there's the rides and then there's the countries around the lake, which if you want...
I feel like the biggest thing at Epcot is like the food and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
The overall experience of all the countries. If you want to have an adequate experience at Epcot, you have to do all the countries. So...
I think it's just the scenery and the experience.
Right, and there are some good rides. Soarin is probably the most famous of the rides, which we'll talk about. But it was so we didn't get the whole day, but I think I got to do most of what I want to do. So one of the first things we did, I think, was Soarin, if I'm not mistaken, and it's probably one of Disney's most famous rides. You take a seat. I don't know how to describe it.
It's like these big overhangs, and you sit down, and your legs kind of hang off.
Right.
And what it does, it'll pull you up, so you're off the ground. Everyone's off the ground.
Yeah, and then you look at a big screen, and it's like you pretend like you're flying above mountains and stuff, and the thing that you're seeing in it moves like you're flying with it. It's really cool. And there's a ride in Animal Kingdom we talked about a little bit called Flight of Passage, and Passage is pretty much like Soarin' but on steroids. How someone described it to me, and actually who said that was Maya and Jane's little brother. And I didn't get to do it, but I heard it's very cool. So Soarin', very cool. And I remember there's lots of nostalgic moments that not only me but like Maya and Jane had while we were at Disney, because I remember when I went to Disney with my family in 2008, and I remember if I remember any ride from Disney, it's like the Lilo and Stitch one in Magic Kingdom, I think, and the Soarin' ride. That's what I remember from something that happened 12 years ago. So it was very nostalgic for me and for Maya and Jane, because they were talking about how it's a tradition they go every time, and every time they, I don't know, they just go every time, and it's nostalgic for them. So That was Soarin'. Anyone else have anything to say about that? Or should we continue with the land?
You can think
So-
of the land. Okay.
I kind of told Janessa that it didn't go up off the ground because she didn't like rides that like go high up or like go fast. But I knew that it was going to be a good experience for her. And I remember when I was little and I didn't want to go on the same ride because I was kind of scared. And my brother told me that same lie. So she ended up enjoying it, but she was kind of freaked out when at the end it started going down because she hadn't even realized that it had gone up in the first place.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed Soarin'. I mean, a lot of the rides I experienced for the first time going this year, so it was
Me
just
as
fun
well.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a major fear of roller coasters, and when we set for fast passes, I was like all these rides. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going. I'm not gonna chicken out.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That sounded so forced, Garrett.
Yeah. So the Soarin' is located in the land, which is like a huge complex. It's like a huge building, and it has different rides in it. And one of the rides,
Food court.
what is food court.
A
Food court. We ate at the food court, and in the entire Disney, like whenever you go to a Disney subsidiary, I guess, like our hotel had the same eating, like the menu plan as in Disney. So what it was is there's like a kids meal and there's a non-kids meal, and they're incredibly expensive. The meals are, and if you get a kids meal, you also get like a little drink and a snack and like a cookie or whatever. It's the same in Disney as it is in our hotel, because our hotel is technically a Disney hotel. We didn't actually talk about our hotel in part 1, but our hotel was All Star Sports, and there's also All Star Music, All Star Movies, and so it's a
Not too
huge.
bad.
It was a huge hotel, ours, and there's like, it's at least, how many square feet? I don't even know.
A lot.
A lot.
It took at least 3 minutes to walk from your room to the food court.
It had a football field in the middle of
Yeah,
like
there was
all
just
of
a
the
random football
apartments.
field,
Yeah,
And
turf.
multiple pools, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
Were
like
there
2 or
two?
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a pool
There's
table.
Which
badminton.
did anyone here actually go in the pool?
No.
I couldn't.
On Sunday morning we had until 9 o'clock to do whatever we wanted. I know some people did go in the pool, but I just slept in.
I did some badminton and I failed miserably at it.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, Keegan saw. I was so bad. I did better without my glasses on. And I have -6 vision or +6 prescription, so that's saying a lot.
It's so funny, but I didn't know your vision was that bad.
Oh,
No.
I know. My friends. So they're 2. What are they? Queen, maybe I think, or full size beds
Oh, okay.
in the hotel.
I thought you were just calling your friends queen.
Oh no.
Yeah, my
I
friend's
thought you were talking about the
my friend's a
band.
king. Okay,
But-
yeah.
What happened is they didn't want to have 2 people in one bed, and so 2 of them, because only 2 people wanted.
Why?
That.
No,
So
that's
I have
how
no
it's supposed
clue.
to be.
So they made us sleep on the floor.
That's
Oh.
ridiculous.
And I mean, I had no problem with the floor, but I was like, this is kind of bogus.
Yeah.
I
Wait.
don't see any problem.
I was gonna ask you to say the names, but I would rather you not.
All right, so it is Alexander Pelletier and
okay.
Aiden Johnsky.
They didn't want you to sleep with them.
No.
Huh. That's really. Now, was there like a rock, paper, scissors, or was there some kind of.
Well, we wanted to do a thing like, hey, I'll take the bed this night and I'll take the floor this night.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'll just take the floor. I had no problem. I didn't have any back problems.
I would have a problem with that. But luckily, I don't remember if I talked about this, but my roommates, I had 2 roommates and not 3. and the other two were friends with each other. I was not friends with either of them. So they were like, "Okay, you're the youngest. You get a bed to yourself." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Nice.
I don't know how me being younger than you grants me a bed to myself, but
You'll take it.
that's kind of
Haley
ridiculous.
and I, along with Jane and our friend Michaela, we were in a group, and we walked in on an interesting game of Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah, we actually stayed there for a little bit.
For a little bit, we played for a bit, and it was nice because when we got back to the hotel after the park, we had like about an hour before curfew, so we all got to like walk around and like visit each other's rooms and stuff. And there was a mysterious knocker at our room, if I remember.
Oh yeah, there's a mysterious knocker at everyone's room. It seemed.
But this guy came like 3 times in one night.
I think we
within,
all
like,
know who it
half an
was.
hour.
Wait, it was a student, right?
I know who it
Well,
was.
yeah.
Should we say his
I
name?
hope so.
I think I know who we're talking about. I
Well-
know someone knocked ditch dust multiple times.
Yeah, that happened a lot with our room.
Yeah, and
I'm back.
I know who it was. Hi.
Oh, so people were knocking on your rooms?
Yeah.
Yep.
That didn't happen to us.
Yeah.
Oh, we were sitting
Just
next
go
to
to
the
bed.
stoner kids, so that was really cool. Like our room, and it was really loud. They had a party there, like almost every night.
Were those people students or were those not?
Oh, they were students. I just call them stoner kids. They're not really stoner kids, but they were just
Oh, okay. I was concerned.
edge.
Stoners. Did
Yeah.
people
Wait,
actually
like
bring
the
marijuana?
band's nerd?
No one brought marijuana.
Yeah. How'd
That I
you
know of.
snuggle that? How'd you smuggle that past security?
Yeah, they're crazy.
Especially with the TSA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we talked about TSA last episode.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I think of when Keegan was telling that story, how he forgot his age. I think I'm 15.
Oh, did I tell you how I found out how to? In part 1, did I tell how I found out how to? Yeah, I told about how I found how to lock pick the doors.
Oh, what doors?
Yeah, the bathroom doors. You could use a quarter.
Yeah, I think you did.
Stick them.
Not in
Wait,
episode
did
1.
you? No, I think someone else.
Past episode.
Yeah, you would pick the lock and then. Oh no, this was in someone else's room. Oh, you know what? It was in science class when we were talking about our weekends.
Yeah, this was another room.
Yeah, and then somebody was like, "Oh, at Disney, we picked a lock, and then we would splash cold water on the person taking a shower."
Yeah.
It's like, just leave him be.
I thought it was funny.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
I would hate that. Just like, give me some privacy.
Would that be too silly for you?
That would be way too silly. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Is Maya here?
Yeah, Maya.
Can you tell the too silly for me story?
All right. It was a fateful day after the Plainville High School parade down Main Street. And everyone was messing around, we were having some chill free time after the end of the parade. And I was having a bit of a time. My coordination was down to 50%. I dropped my water bottle about 5 times. I tripped over my feet multiple times as well. And finally, Finally, I acquired my water bottle, and we were standing on a grassy area. Well, no, actually on the pavement near a grassy area. And I don't remember who I started the game with, but it was either Kyle or Garret. We threw the water bottle up in the air and had to catch it, but it was like a team effort, so everyone had to catch it at the same time. So then we were playing it and we dropped it. And then we were joking around a little bit.
And the world stood still.
And it came to the point where people were talking about it hitting them. So in a split-second decision in my, state of mind, I threw it up in the air and purposely made it hit my head. And this was my reaction. Ow! Because it actually hurt. But Garret was not concerned over my mental or physical health. He was concerned
Mental.
over something very different, and this was his explanation after. Garret, if you would.
So this is what I said.
Yeah.
This is too silly for me.
And he proceeded to walk away.
Yeah.
It's a lot funnier, like
You had
in
to
the
be
moment.
there. Yeah, you had to be there.
Yeah.
But you and Kyle were talking about that, and it's still talked about. It was referenced just in the other minute, cause it was extremely witty on my part. Very clever humor from me.
Very clever.
Yeah, that was clever of me.
Such a clever boy, Garret.
Okay, let's
Oh.
So yeah,
PG here, all right?
that's PG. Yeah,
Oh,
this is a
are we
Christian
gonna,
Minecraft server.
Are we gonna keep talking about Epcot?
Oh
Because I
yeah,
have
we
something.
didn't
to say.
finish the land. So Maya, what was that ride? It was the boat ride in D-Land.
Which boat ride?
The one that
Through
you
the
go
garden.
the garden, yeah.
The what?
greenhouse. The
Oh
one
my
through the
gosh.
The one with the
Greenhouse.
garden?
Yep.
Oh, Living with the Land.
Yeah. Yeah, which is another scenery ride. Go ahead, Maya, and share some of talk about it a little bit and how it's so nostalgic for you.
Well,
You
as a
couldn't
kid,
put
I
your
always
camera
hated.
down. You almost cried.
What?
You almost cried during when you were going through it. It was
Yeah. A lot of the rides at Disney, I almost cried because I went there a lot with my family, so brings back a lot of memories from my childhood and stuff. And I don't know, as a kid, I never liked roller coasters or fast rides, so rides like Living with the Land, Soarin', all those were more my type of rides because I preferred the slow boat rides, scenery rides as a kid. And so that was one of my favorite rides. I mean, for a group of high school kids, it may not seem like the best ride of all, but it just was a good experience. The ride um is about nature and, as it says in the title, living with the land. And it just it brought back memories of talking with my parents on the ride. Or there's a part where you can see up into a restaurant that I ate at once, which was really fun. The restaurant rotates, it moves while you're eating, not in a fast way. It's extremely slow, but you definitely during the course of your eating experience move, and it's a character dining experience too. So that was fun. And then we got to the top, which normally is just fine, but it was decorated for Christmas, so it was definitely it just made me happy because it was beautiful. I
it was
wouldn't say
very
beautiful.
pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty. Some parts were really overdone too. Well, not overdone, but it was different than what I usually
Overdone and dry.
expected. So I was very happy to see that, and lots of Mickey references, stuff like that. I just
Wait,
love Disney.
what's the topic right now?
Living with the land.
Oh.
I don't know. One of my favorite rides because it's just so nostalgic for me. I think that's one of the biggest factors in for me deciding what rides I like and don't like. I just recently got into roller coasters and we went on Rockin' the Roller Coaster, and I
That
had
was
the
because
time
of
of
me,
my
by
life.
the way.
Yeah.
I don't
Alright.
think it's the best roller coaster to start on.
It was
but,
really thrilling. Really liked it, but it probably won't be one of my favorite rides because it just doesn't have the same nostalgic factor,
Sorry.
and the other rides just give me
Okay.
different feeling.
And didn't Kyle touch the sand when he wasn't supposed to?
Oh yeah. Literally, 8-year-old self, my 8-year-old self could keep my hands to myself when the sign says "Don't touch the sand," but
He just had to.
16-year-old Kyle could not resist.
We should have him on as a special guest.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
definitely
I have a,
Maybe
I have a
eventually.
great
Maybe
story.
episode 7.
I have a great story.
Quickly.
So, Okay, well, real quick, but so what happened is we were going through, I think, France, and I found something really funny. I forgot what it was, but I started doing this like hysterical laughter, like screaming laughter,
Good story.
and it was intentional. And all these people looked at us like at me like I was this crazy mass hysteria person, like I had some sort of
Psychotic
disease.
breakdown.
Yeah, and I thought it was really funny. And then that made me laugh even more because I thought it was funny.
Was it
So I
actually
just
even
kept on going.
funny?
I don't really know.
Would you remember what it was?
No, I can try. It was like, I think it was like this really stupid joke, like a your mama joke or something. But it was like just the great context.
You're always all over those your mama jokes. So yeah, very nice. I want to. So let's move on. We did. So after the land, we did what? Test track. And
No,
after the
land
land,
was
we
Soarin'.
split up. We split up
Oh,
after
yeah.
the land.
Okay.
Me, Jane, and Janessa went to go meet characters because that's what I had been.
Well, yeah,
really
weren't we
looking
going
forward
to? Weren't we going to test track and you guys didn't want to go?
Okay,
Well, no, didn't we go to Soarin' after?
No, well, Soarin is. Yeah, we talked about that when you were gone. Soarin is
Okay.
in the land.
Well, I did want to do test track, but for some reason I had a very, very strong desire to meet Mickey. So I went with Jane
You couldn't
and Janessa.
contain yourself.
I couldn't because I really wanted to hug Mickey. And so I went with them. So I don't want to know if Jane and I should talk about that, or you guys talk about test track and then we talk about that quickly.
Well, there's not much to say about test track. I thought it was going to be a little better. Like the waiting in line is almost better than the actual ride. I mean, there is parts of the ride that's pretty cool, but the line is like there's like these touch pads and you can like customize your own car, and then like it pretends that I don't even know. Maya, do you want to explain it?
What? Explain what?
Test track, the line for test track.
The line?
Yeah, like you can customize your own car.
All right, yeah. So we went through the single rider line, which is a little different.
Which is less of an experience than the actual.
Yeah. But I'm going to explain the actual ride. So you get to a little kiosk, and basically you get to design your car. You choose, like, its main function, like, what you're focusing on to maximize. So there's, like, power, efficiency, like, speed, stuff like that. And then you choose the color of it, the design of it, the engine, everything you could imagine. And basically the whole ride centers around you testing the car that you made. You get a score out of how well it does in the simulation.
And then like you go outside for a part. It's super fast outside.
Yeah.
Right.
So the first part is like a dark ride, and you just test out different obstacles. But the second part is the part I think a lot of people love.
Yeah, that's the best part.
It's like a big circle, and you just go really fast, probably like 60 something miles per hour.
And you see all of Epcot pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, most people wouldn't, if you're thinking of driving in a normal car, 60 something miles per hour doesn't really seem that fast because that's the speed limit on the highway. However, like with all the wind blowing in your face, it's very
seems faster.
exhilarating. Yeah.
All right, so Claudia and Jane, do you want to talk about your character experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane, you can start.
So at first it was a little bit confusing to find the characters because there's a big building where all the characters are, but there's two entrances and we thought it was all one big building. So we went in one entrance and there was Baymax and Wreck-It Ralph in there. And we were not feeling it was Baymax and Inside Out characters, yeah.
Yeah, joy and sadness.
Yeah, we weren't really feeling those characters. So we walked out, and Claudia, actually, that's when she bought ears. And so we took the opportunity to ask the person working there where we could find the characters. That's when we found out that the other entrance was a completely different room.
Yep.
So we went in there, and that's where we found Mickey, Goofy, and Minnie.
Yeah.
And yeah. And it's fun because the characters like interact with you, and like if for instance Claudia's ears they were mini ears, so they were playing with that and everything.
Yeah, and it was like from the original cartoon, so it was like the little hat with like the daisy sticking out of it, the yellow daisy, and so all the characters would play with it.
Were they mini ears, or were they like the character mini ears? Like, were they really small ears, or they were like Minnie Mouse ears?
Minnie Mouse themed ears.
Okay, I have no clue.
Yeah, with the original little hat and flowers sticking out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So like I said, I really wanted to meet the characters, and I also really like fast rides and stuff like that, and Test Track is definitely one of those. So the fact that I made that sacrifice says a lot.
That was my first time on Test Track too.
I didn't really. I hate rides, so yeah, that wasn't really a big choice for me. But I still like for the couple of days I was like, at some point I do want to meet some characters.
Yeah.
And we were like, each day we're like, yeah, maybe we'll meet the characters, and we get there and it's like, oh, the line's pretty long. I'm not sure we really want to wait for this.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like no wait for the inside the building. Like there was like one person in front of us maybe.
Mm-hmm. And the thing was, when I went up to Mickey, I don't know if he could tell that I had been waiting for this moment for like years, but like he kept on like he was like holding my hands, and then like we were hugging, and then he like played with the flower on the Mickey mini ears.
He was interested in you.
They can tell how long they can tell how long you've been waiting. The 30-year-old.
I feel like he sensed it.
The 30-year-old who lives in his mom's basement, who's wearing the costume.
Yeah.
Can sense it.
Oh my gosh! Stop.
That's why I say
Someone else said that to me too. Stop ruining.
Garret is ruining the magic right now. It's most likely that the people inside are actually teens. So
wow.
Stop ruining it. I had literally the most childlike wonder I'd had in so long at Disney, and that just made it 10 times better. And I have pictures and I love them, and I was very happy.
I think I would love cry right now. I really want to go to Disney right now.
Test Track, my friends told me it was like going to be 40 miles per hour, and I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be great, I'll be fine. And then it zooms, and I'm like, this is not what you told me. I'm angry.
I loved the Test Track thing.
Well, why are you angry that it's
was
more
probably
exhilarating?
one of my favorite rides.
Well, because I have motion sickness, and I forgot to take my Dramamine that day.
Dramamine?
Dramamine is motion sickness.
Dramamine. My mother says Dramamine.
I said Dramamine.
Dramamine.
That was horrible.
Dramamine.
For those of you that didn't know, Garrett's mom is Lizzo.
What? Oh, well, that's an inside joke that no one would know. The reason she says that is because she was singing along with Lizzo in the car when we were picking her up. That's all. That's the only reason why she says that my mom is Lizzo. It's because she was singing a Lizzo song. But anyways, let's move on. We were trying to talk about Spaceship Earth, Maya, but when you were gone, but I couldn't really describe it well. What is the name of the actual ride inside Spaceship Earth? Or is it just
actual ride?
Yeah.
It's called Spaceship Earth.
That's just what it's called.
Yes.
I think.
I thought that's what like the golf ball was called, but the ride in it was different.
I just called it the Epcot ball. I don't really know what
It is called Spaceship Earth, I'm pretty sure.
Spaceship Earth is like just a ball in general, but I thought the ride had a different name.
I'm not sure.
No, it's called Spaceship Earth.
We were talking about it. and talking about how, like, what it is exactly, and it's like a scenery ride. But what is? We were talking about some of the stuff that was in it, and
Well, it kind of goes through like early history.
we were talking about the inventors of the ABCs because that was a trivia question last time.
The Phoenicians.
I was really tempted
Remember
to
how easy it was to learn your ABCs? Think the Phoenicians. They invented them.
I was really thinking of like
That was not the right inflection.
I was hoping that if like a drop came, I'd
Inflection?
lift up my arms and go, "Wow!" And then
Yeah,
it'd just be really slow.
That...
Yeah, I thought that'd be pretty funny.
So normally, what happens in drops?
Oh wait, no, on our ride, it stopped and it broke down for like 5 minutes. And it was
That
great.
happens sometimes.
It was pitch black, and it was great.
Usually when I go on that ride, I go on with my dad, and he has this joke that he does that he says, "Now entering Space Mountains on dark rides." So it kind of was very different without that experience. I was sitting with you, Claudia, right?
Yeah, we were sitting together.
Oh, they took a picture of us. Remember?
Usually
And they like
tell
put it on our
you-
screens.
They tell you when the picture is being taken, usually.
No, they
but
don't.
That time, no. I've been on the ride.
Oh, on that ride or like on every other ride?
No, Spaceship Earth. They tell you when the picture is being taken, but that time they didn't. So the picture was very.
Oh my gosh, it was like my mouth was like half open.
That caught you off guard.
Yeah,
It was
I was sitting with Ebony.
They put it
and
on your screen.
in the picture, I was talking, and she wasn't even looking at the camera, so it didn't recognize her as a person. So she was just kind of the cartoon person that is like the default
Oh, that's
for
sad.
single riders. So if you look at any of the pictures from that ride, you would think that I was sitting alone, but I was not.
Oh, I want. Remember, was it it was Dinosaur, where so the picture was taken at Dinosaur, and I had no idea where the picture was going to be taken, but I just thought it'd be funny if I were to hold the middle finger up to like the biggest dinosaur on the ride, because it like caught me off guard, and I just thought it was funny if everybody saw me flip off the dinosaur. And then the picture was taken, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's gonna be on screens like everywhere when we get off." And it was. So we got off, and like you know how if the picture's taken, like you see it on the walls and stuff. Actually, no, they just showed us it personally.
Didn't they blur out your fingers?
So yeah, they eventually,
Yeah.
because one of the people in our group had one of those passes where you
Photo
can
pass.
buy photo pass. You can buy all of your
Like all the
pictures.
photos.
It's a one-time payment, and then you have all the access to your photos. So they eventually blurred it. They put 2 black boxes over my fingers.
I think that was funnier.
Yeah.
They had like just.
Yeah, it's funny. So what did we do after Spaceship Earth? The countries or not yet?
Yeah, I think the countries.
Yeah, I think the countries was right after that.
Huh.
I ended up
Oh,
eating in Japan, I think.
Yeah.
Could I demonstrate my
sushi.
mass hysteria laugh?
Sure, Keegan.
All right.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I could see why people would look at you in
Concern, terror.
yes. Yeah. I mean, especially if it's over nothing
Places
and you're
not
doing
only
it.
for you, but for their children.
They
So,
probably thought you were one of the Disney characters. Like,
oh look, it's the maniacal laugher from Tangled.
no, the new flannel wearer, flannel king,
Plaid.
the villain.
Plaid drummer.
Plaid villain.
And somehow my voice was fine. I did not ever have a shot voice at all for that.
Oh
And I
yeah.
did that for like 10 minutes straight. Just
Really?
walking around.
That long?
Like bent over on my knees. Like,
yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
That's too silly for Garrett.
I would walk
Everything's
out.
too silly for Garrett.
Well,
Except
that's
for
not true.
when he has voice cracks, in which case, you know.
It is too silly for me. Yeah, imagine if it was like that instead of normally. That would have been worse. That'd be depressing. Because I ironically am saying it's silly with the voice such as mine.
oh,
I can
where'd you
hear
go?
Keegan's typing or someone's typing.
I'm not typing.
It's my typing.
So where'd everyone eat?
You're a
Epcot?
failure.
I'm sorry.
So there's how many countries? 14 or 11?
I think
around.
13. I think it.
What's the
Yeah.
difference?
And it's like I didn't even know that the countries were going to be as big as they are. I thought it was just like a couple of like booths
There's
or
11
kiosks.
of them.
But there's an actual like it's like you're dropped in the middle of that country and you're just walking around. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I was very impressed by the way that the countries were set up and like the fact that they all had like a decent size. I mean, I'm sure they weren't really entirely accurate to their culture.
Yeah.
For the most part. For being
It was good.
for having 13 different countries in one
11.
park. 11. For having 11 different countries in like this one Disney park. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
And they
definitely.
actually, I don't want to be racist or anything, but they have like actual Chinese people working the Chinese food stalls.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
I know.
cool.
In France, so I went to France during April, and when I went to France in Epcot,
Like
I was
actual
like, hey,
France?
yes, I physically went to France,
Actual
like,
France.
in April, in actual France,
Yeah.
and when I went to Epcot, and I went to like there's like this big corridor. I'm like, hey, this looks kind of familiar, and I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh. Yeah,
That
I
is
mean
cool.
they probably put more thought into it than we think.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean the Eiffel Tower is an obvious one, but they probably put other architectural because obviously architecture in France is going to be different than in China.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are those big towers called in China and Japan?
Churches.
Shanghai.
Kind of not stupid, but almost like a little bit unnecessary that the United States had one.
No, it was like it looked like the Capitol, pretty much. Like it didn't look like a building you
Well,
would
like,
find today. It
I
looked like a
mean,
building
you
you'd
say
find in the
that.
1700s.
I mean, you could say that, but at the same time, there's people visiting Disney
Well, no,
Yeah,
I mean just
don't live in the U.S.
I guess so.
Disney World is in America.
That is true,
Well,
but the climate of Florida is a lot
there's
different
people.
than the climate of Washington D.C. or New England.
There's people
And I
coming
think they.
from all over the world. There's people coming to see the Orlando Disney
obviously.
World. I mean, we were waiting in line at Safari, and there was someone behind us from like Brazil. And they spoke Portuguese, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, we came all the way from Brazil just for this." Not just for Safari, but for Disney as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just goes on
Yeah,
full
just
Safari.
Safari and goes
Came,
home.
but
Like Disney like hires people from the countries that they're from.
Yeah.
So like I went to France and then the people working there
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
French. Yeah, so
Pretty
I was
cool.
pretty
Very
proud
cool.
because I am learning French.
I mean, how many job applications do you think they get? Disney
Oh, they
World,
probably get a ton.
Whoa, yeah.
all over the world, a lot.
I ordered in French, and then the woman working there, she was like, "Oh, are you learning French?" And I was like, Yes.
It's obvious.
Well, Jane and I were with our friends Evany and Madison, and we had quite the experience trying to get our food
Oh yeah.
because no one could decide on anything. My heart was
Oh
set on
yeah,
Italy,
and everything is
then
so expensive.
yeah, and then there were
Yeah.
all reservations were taken for Italy, so we couldn't get a spot. And then we
Mhm.
were walking around everywhere. No one could agree on food. Evany was getting really, really sick because she had to eat. Madison wouldn't say anything about what she wanted to eat. Jane wanted to eat in France the whole time, but didn't say a word because she didn't want to be a bother. And I was like, Jane, you are not a bother. Let's go eat.
That happened with us too, with my group. Like, I really wanted fish and chips from like UK or I don't know what I want.
Rose and Crown. That's my
And-
favorite.
And everyone else didn't know what to do. I'm like, if we just get fish and chips, they're really good. It's amazing. And then we ended up eating Japan, and I got the kids sandwich.
I don't know. I don't like that you would. I mean, it's your opinion that you want fish and chips, but there's so many countries that you'll never have cuisine access to. Like, you can just get fish and chips at a local restaurant. Why would you want to get that when there's so much other food choices?
Well, because UK and Irish fish and chips, I think, are way better than like our version, American fish.
Well, you
and
don't have to
chips.
get fish and chips. I mean,
I know, but
Some of
I mean, it's your choice, though. You know, do whatever you want.
I mean, there's also the fact that the UK isn't exactly known for their food. I mean, if anything, they're known for having bad food.
And
Like, I
pork
remember
pies.
Kyle.
the some of the countries there are like a bit not great. Like I know
Germany.
Morocco, we walked through there
Oh
and
my
all
gosh,
they had to
yeah.
offer was like hot
Mm.
dogs.
And pretzels. Hot dogs and pretzels.
Well, that's
It
probably their
wasn't
actual
great.
cuisine. I don't know.
Where
Well,
did you go?
no, Morocco has Tangerine Cafe. You probably
Oh
just
yeah.
had there.
Where did we eat, Maya? Or did we just go all over the
We
place?
ate very sporadically. Garret
Yeah.
and I were more concerned about seeing each of the countries
Yeah.
rather than eating in there. We kind of just like if we saw something
We were
we liked,
actually
we were like, okay, let's get that.
we didn't want to just like take a quick peek at all the countries. We actually wanted an in-depth look at all of them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally got like a shaved ice thing from Japan
I don't know why you got that.
because I don't know, my mom got it before, so I wanted it. It was actually
Just because your
very
mom gets
filling
it.
for ice. It was very interesting.
Well, there's so much other actual food. But
Well,
you know,
I just got what I wanted, and then I got something from the Mexico Pavilion
so
too.
we haven't said even like all the countries. So Canada, France, China, Italy, Norway, which is kind of weird, Japan, Germany, Morocco, Mexico, UK, and US.
You saying Norway is weird, man?
Norway is weird because
yeah, what the
it's
heck?
not a very well-known country for its cuisine and its culture.
You used to have a good ride there.
You
but
dissed
now,
in Norway, huh?
Wait, Norway was Frozen, right?
Yeah.
We went on Frozen.
They have the Frozen ride, but it's just not as good as the other ride was.
I hate that.
Garrett and I went on Frozen during the show.
The
and-
fireworks show.
right- Yeah.
Because
during-
most
well,
of the people in the park were actually watching.
Yeah. I mean, we got a glimpse of it because it wasn't
The
over
end of
by
it.
the time we got out. And
Yeah.
seeing
It's
the
pretty
end
cool.
of it, I was satisfied. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I wished I watched it, but like it's pretty cool. I'd like to see it, like the whole thing. Maybe I have before. I have no idea, because I think it might be new. I
Yeah,
think
it
might
is
be
new.
actually. But I'm
Mhm.
glad I
Vanessa
got
was
to go
actually
on
sitting on
I-
Claudia's shoulders during that show.
I do think that the old show was better than the new one.
I just
remember
really
the
Well,
don't.
old one.
they're probably thinking of a bunch of new ideas for the fireworks shows all the time.
The
Yeah.
old one had like I don't know.
And-
I remember it, but
So
I can't explain it.
Do they do a show every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or every day?
I'm pretty
In
sure
every
every
park.
day.
Isn't that crazy? Imagine putting on fireworks shows every day in each of the parks, and they're like
everything about Disney is
thousands
great.
of dollars of fireworks.
Disney goes out of your way to out of their way to make everything just
They'll
like
do
magic.
anything to
Like the
put money in.
the cast members are like suck-ups. They will do anything to make sure you have a magical day.
Huh. It's different in like New York City when there's a bunch, like all those people with costumes who ask you $5 for a picture, and there's like Elmo and like Minnie. But when I say like Minnie Mouse, it's not even. It's a guy with like a mask wearing wearing pajama pants.
They take off the mask.
Yeah,
it's
a bunch of Spanish people.
They're like
just trying to speak Spanish to you. $5.
They're wearing like the suits with the decapitated heads, and the little children are like, "What happened to Elmo?"
But this isn't a podcast about New York. It's about Disney. And they go all out in Disney. They have like the whole costumes, and you don't see them take their mask off.
I actually lost my phone on Space Mountain, but I didn't know that I lost it. I think it like fell out of my pocket or something.
Right.
But the cast member, like, they came up to me right after I got off the ride, and they were, "Oh, they have your phone upstairs," and I was like, "What?" Like, because I didn't even recognize that it was a cast member at first. I just was looking at their face, and I was like, it took me a little while to see the name tag or whatever, and so I went up. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I am."
How did they know it was you who lost the phone?
I don't know. I guess they must have
the location
That's Disney
of where
magic.
the phone was. Like it
They
probably
must have had like cameras or something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the first time it
Crazy.
happened either. So I just like went upstairs and got it. But like the fact that they knew before I even like said anything or even knew that it was gone.
I know.
But like also when we were in Epcot, that was on Space Mountain. But in Epcot, I think it was at the cafe, and Maddie lost her dining card and a receipt,
Ooh.
and she didn't know. But some guy, I guess, I don't know if he was at the register or if he was just another cast member, but he came up and he was like, "Are you missing this?" And he already knew the answer, but she was like, "Oh, I guess so."
It was honestly like magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that like 350 pairs of sunglasses get lost there every day, but honestly,
that was a
that's
trivia
probably
question.
because it's on the ride.
Oh my god, yeah, that was on the Mount Everest one. What's it called?
Expedition Everest.
Yeah, there were like sunglasses and like wristbands and all this stuff on the sides.
I saw people were like they purposely flung their scrunchies or their
It's a
hair band, whatever.
tradition.
Yeah.
It's like a tradition to
Except
leave
no one
stuff
on our
that
card did.
ride.
Yeah, leave something of yourself there.
Uh-huh.
Pretty cool, but it leaves a mess.
Yeah. Dragon.
They fling it like you flung my scrunchie across the room today.
We don't talk about that.
Oh. We don't talk anymore.
So the countries, it was a very fun experience. I didn't expect them to be as big as they were, but it was great walking around and just observing. Me and Maya got cheesecake later because everything is so expensive, and sometimes when you would go up to the kiosk, the food kiosk, they would be like, "Oh, we ran out of that," and it'd just be like, "Okay." But how could you? It's Disney. How could you run out of food?
I just remembered in the line for Frozen, there was a family ahead of us, and they had like mini cupcakes for some reason, and they had extras, so they gave us
Oh
cupcakes.
yeah, they gave us cupcakes, and I was already feeling pretty nauseous, and they gave us a chocolate. They gave us chocolate cupcakes, and I was like, "Oh gosh." So he pretty much force fed us the cupcakes because he was like, "Do you want these cupcakes?" I was like, "No."
Garret said no, thank you, and he
I
was
said
like,
no,
"Come
thank you at least
on."
3 times. He just wanted to get rid of them so bad, and so I was like, "No," and he was like, "Come on." I was like, "No, it's all right." And he's like, "Come on, please." And so I was finally like, "Okay." I
Kind of
felt
like the type of thing where you're like, "You're in Disney World, live a little."
Yeah, eat a stranger's cupcakes, and he was like drunk. You could tell he was so drunk. And they had kids. They had one kid, but that really pushed me over the edge.
I think it was 2 kids.
I was sick for the rest of the night because of that one
What?
cupcake.
It was a mini cupcake too.
I know that one
It
thing.
just reminded me of the difference between Disney and Six Flags. 'Cause I remember I went to Six Flags and I went on the ride, and the guy like controlling the ride literally made fun of me the whole time. He was like, he was like, first, so I couldn't figure out how to we were on the teacups and I couldn't figure out how to make it go fast. So I finally figured it out, and I was like, he pointed that out. He was like, she's picking up speed now. So because he pointed me out, I started blushing, and then he was like, oh, she's all red. And then I started laughing because of that. And he's like, I know that's your laugh. And then he started imitating this really ugly
What
laugh.
the hell?
And then it just turned on, just kept escalating. So
Jeez.
The Disney cast members
Should've
are always
reported
trying to
him.
make you like
Yeah, they don't want to
happy,
ruin your
and then
experience.
there's just people at Six Flags.
They're not allowed to
So-
ruin the experience for you.
Disney
Yeah.
would never do that.
I think we're gonna conclude it there. We are
No, Disney trivia.
no, we're gonna have to save
No.
that.
Quickly,
Nope.
come on.
No,
Come on,
not
ready?
even.
Ready?
Not,
Ready?
no,
Ready?
not even quickly.
Why
I'm gonna
didn't
mute you. I'm muting you right now.
Literally, I'm so mad
I'll
right now.
save it for
I
next
planned-
time.
I planned
No,
out
we'll
all of
we'll have a part 3. We're having a
That
part
would be funny.
3.
Okay.
Because
Alright, I
it's
guess we're ending this with an angry Maya.
I know it started and ended with an angry Maya. So that's gonna be it. We'll have a part 3 coming next week, and we'll officially conclude it. We only talked about one day today, but Saturday was a pretty packed day. So thank you very much for listening. Tuned in to next week, part 3 of Disney. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Yeah.
Have
Have a magical day.
I love you.
Have a magical day.